everybody. We are in the Kindred kitchen again today, and V is behind the camera.
Hi guys.
And we are going to be making my pumpkin spice rolls that my kids love. And I've made cinnamon rolls before, but I decided, you know, when it came fall that I was going to add some pumpkin and stuff to them, and it turned out delicious. And I made them without any processed oils. So let's get started. Today we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of almond butter. I use a nice organic almond butter, and I will say in the grocery stores now you can get a lot of nice organic nut butters that have just the nuts. Like this is just almonds. There's no soy added, there's no salt, there's no sugar added, it's just almonds. And I'm going to add a cup of pumpkin to this. And if what I used before was not canned pumpkin. This is an organic canned pumpkin. But if you have a pumpkin, you can, you know, put it in your oven or your microwave, but put it in your oven at 375, 395, somewhere around there, and just cook it until the exterior is nice and soft, you know, and then just scrape that out and blend it up in a blender. I do that all the time. Blend it up, add a little bit of water so that the blender gets everything mixed up well, and you can use that if you don't want to use the canned pumpkin. That works just as well. I have in here, I have just about 1/3 cup of maple syrup. And maple syrup is one where you do have to read the label, for sure. Because so many maple syrups are not even maple syrup. They're just corn syrup with some maple flavoring and some color added. So make sure you read the label on that. And then I have just a tablespoon of a yeast here. And
is that instant yeast?
No, this is a dry active yeast. Okay. It's not the instant yeast, and it's not the bread yeast either that you put in the bread machine yeast, I guess they call it in the packets, bread machine yeast. So it's not that either. And then I'm just going to add about 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt in there, and a cup of nice warm water. But I'm telling you, you can wing this. And actually, I might add a little bit more warm water just because I know V's kids like this, like these cinnamon rolls, so I'm going to make a little bit extra so that her kids have some. And I'm just going to mix this up first before I add any flour.
So are you ready for Christmas?
I am. Are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah. I want to sleep.
I love Christmas, so it's my time of year. All right. We are back, and we are going to get started with the flour now. Now, I put in the recipe that's on our blog at kindredvegans.com that I use about 3.5 to 4 cups of flour, because the last time I actually measured it. But I don't usually measure it because it's a consistency you want, not necessarily an amount of flour to add. So I'm going to add just 1/2 cup at a time until it's the consistency I like. So I'm going to start off with just 2 cups. This is a 1/2 cup measure, so I'm going to add 2 cups, and then I will add 1/2 cup at a time. There's 1.5, 2, and I am using a white whole wheat flour. So it's a little bit lighter in texture, I guess, than a regular whole wheat flour, so that your
rolls are not dense.
Right, they come.
That's what happened when I used whole wheat. It came out dense.
Yeah.
It wasn't light and fluffy as yours were.
Yeah, and this is just a white whole wheat flour. That's what I used. Yeah, I mean you could use an all-purpose flour, but the white all wheat is not bleached like a regular white flour is. So actually, I'm looking at it now, and I think I'm going to put in 2.5. If I can get another half. I think I'm going to put 2.5 cups in to start, and we'll let that mix up and then take a look. I'll have to look on the replay. I promise. I will watch. I always watch the replay, and then I put the recipe down below in the description box. So if you miss the ingredients when you're watching it, just check the recipe down in the description box. It'll be there. Hey guys, we are back now. The dough is all. I just let it beat in the machine for a few minutes, and this is the consistency we have. And this is what I want. This is exactly what I want. What I'm going to do now is put it back in the bowl, and I'm just going to cover it with some saran wrap with a dish towel, and I'm going to put it in a nice warm spot and just let it sit there. It usually takes about maybe 30 to 45 minutes to rise. You want it to pretty much double in size, and then we'll be ready to go on to the next part. So join me in about 30 minutes. Okay, we are back, and my dough has risen, and I'll show you here. See, it's like doubled in size. And so now the goal is to lay it out. So I'm just gonna put some, same flour, I'm just gonna flour my surface here. And I am gonna get my dough out onto the surface.
Yes.
Kids, huh? And then I'm just gonna roll it out into a rectangle. And this is the hardest part, but we will get there.
Yeah.
All right, so I can. Okay, I have rolled this out into a sort of a rectangle shape. My dough is getting a little bit dry because, well, you know, mom issues coming up. But anyway, we are gonna work on, I have already made up the filling for these pumpkin spice rolls. And this is a 1/4 cup of almond butter, 3/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of soy milk, although you could use any plant-based milk really, and a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. And I just put it in a bullet blender. You could do it by hand, but hey, that's quick and easy. So I put it in a bullet blender, and then what I'm gonna do is spread this all over my rectangle of dough here. Let me get every drop out of here. And it's just going to be a very thin layer. You'll see when you start putting it on. It's going to be a thin layer. Just to have it be even everywhere. Yep. There. That looks pretty good, huh?
Yep.
And now what I'm going to do is roll it. And so getting it started is the hard part. And then you just kind of pull a little bit and roll. And that makes it come up a little bit tighter and not quite as loose. And I'm just going to do this until I reach the end. And there's no egg in this. So what I like to do is eat the ends. My husband thinks that's kind of gross, but does anybody else like?
I like the ends. I like it because it's more crispier.
And then I usually just pinch this up so that they're not coming apart as I'm cutting them. I mean, it all bakes together, so it's not going to matter. But I eat the ends raw, uncooked. Do you like?
Oh no, I don't eat it raw, but
I mean, there's no egg in it or anything, so
yeah.
I'm not going to get salmonella. But my husband thinks it's gross, but I like the raw dough.
no, I've never tried raw dough, but yeah, I like the sides cooked.
Now,
because
I'm going to bring over one pan here, and we're going to see how many we can fit. I'm going to cut off the weird shaped end. See, that's what I will eat right there. And then I'm just going to cut 1.5 inches, 2 inches maybe, and I'm just going to put them on here. And I'm going to keep cutting everybody. And once I have these all cut and laid out, I'll show you a quick glimpse of them, but then we're going to let them rise for a while so they'll be nice and fluffy.
Okay.
So we'll be back in just a minute when I've got these all cut up nice.
All right.
Hi guys, we are back, and you can see these are most of the pumpkin spice rolls. There are some still in the oven, but they are nice.
So good.
They're golden brown, and you can see the filling has just cooked in there, looking delicious. Now what I'm going to make is the icing for the top. And in here I have probably just over a 1/4 cup, just over a cup of confectioner's sugar, a nice organic confectioner's sugar. And I have just over a cup because it kind of spilled out over, so that's what I've got. And I have 2 tablespoons of a soy milk here, but you could use coconut milk or almond milk or oat milk, any kind of milk you want. I have soy milk there.
What about water?
Water probably wouldn't taste as good. You probably could use it, but I think you need the milk to give that creaminess to it. I've got a teaspoon of vanilla extract, which is mine. And then I've got a 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, since we're doing pumpkin spice muffins. If I was doing regular muffins, I would just probably leave that out. You could add a little bit of cinnamon. Yeah. But I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just leave it out and just make a plain icing, vanilla icing. And I'm gonna whisk this together, and I have my soy milk over here on the side, just in case I need a little bit more liquid, but.
I don't think you will.
Yeah, this is usually the magic,
yeah.
The magicness of it is 1 cup. There, and we're just gonna mix it up until all of the,
Lumps are gone.
yep, which won't take long. It's confectioner's sugar. What I do at my house is I leave this in just a little container beside the cinnamon rolls because I just think that it's best warm. You know, warm, and then you put the icing on top of a warm pumpkin spice roll. So I'll leave them together so that if these have cooled down, my kids will just put one on a plate, pop it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, and then they will add the icing on top like that. But you can add it to all of them now if you'd like. Or if you were at a party or something, you'd probably add them all at the same time. So now I'm just gonna grab a little plate here.
Llama.
Yes, I'm gonna grab one of these. And we are gonna work this up here. I'm gonna grab this one off the edge here. And then I have something here. I'm just gonna put a little bit on top. And it's just gonna add that extra bit of deliciousness as it melts down the sides. And that's what we have when we're finished. And it is delicious. So don't forget to do all the things you do on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you follow us on Instagram because I guarantee you'll be seeing this on Instagram. And I hope you have enjoyed our whole 25 days of Christmas. And I hope you've enjoyed your family and you've found some recipes that you can really connect with. So we're gonna sign off for now and we will see you again later. Bye guys.
Merry Christmas, guys.